How frequent are calls from opposition parties for electoral reform?
They are frequent. Our people, you know, we started with this first past the post at independence. And for years it would have seemed that it worked very well. What then happened was that South Africa, for instance, Namibia, they became independent after, you know, recently.
Right.
And obviously they adopted the
PR
system. And a lot of our opposition people started to call for Botswana to change and go for PR. But our argument has been that, look, we have been doing this first past the system, and we don't seem to have a problem with it. Indicate the problems. Why do you want us to change? You just want us to change for the sake of changing, just because it's happening in South Africa or Namibia, or in new democracies, as they call them. Doesn't necessarily mean that we should change. If anything, we should keep on improving our system, so that perhaps in the end we can have a hybrid. I think that's the thinking within the BDP. The BDP doesn't think that we should throw away this current system and take a new one. We don't think that's the way to do things. We think, if at all, we should continue to try and improve the system that we have. If it leads towards, gravitates towards PR, that's fine. If it's what the Botswana want, we have no problem at all.
So when you're open to a public referendum or a public...
Yes, we are open to debate. We think the public must talk about these things. The party must talk about these things, so that at the end we can reach an agreement.
And then finally on that, what are the worries?
What the opposition gives us a problem is that they have not carried the people with them. It's just that we think that for them it's for their own good. They just want to. You see, it's one thing to go into PR and another to be for the first past the post. The PR, part of the problem with the PR is that you tend to lose the touch of the MP and the constituencies. The tendency that we are getting in South Africa is that the list is drawn by the leadership. And at times people are allocated MPs who they have got no idea who they are. And this is a problem. Our people still think that they must vote for their own person. In fact, recently in Donota North, we are having a by-election in Donota North.
In Kasane?
In Donota North, next to Francistown, yeah. We realized that there were 6 people who stood for the primaries. And you find that each one of them was getting votes from their own villages. So if you come from Gaborone, for instance, just to give you an example, you'll be voted by Gaborone. I come from Lobatse, I'm voted by Lobatse. See, people are voting their own people.
A direct representation.
Yes. So that is part of the problem that we have. We still don't think that our people will be happy with this PR. Yeah. But of course, for the parties, they will be happy, isn't it? That they want to be more in parliament, increase their numbers.
So you see them speaking from a position of self-interest in calling for them.
They are also talking about party funding. It's also an issue that they think that the government should start funding political parties. We think also that it's something that maybe we can start talking about. You see, we didn't want the mere resources that we have. We have always thought that they must go to the people. They must go into education, go into health. And we are still struggling with AIDS, HIV, and all those things. Even this time of the downturn, the recession, where we have even cut some of the projects that we were supposed to do. We don't think it will be wise to start dishing out money to political parties.
The Independent Electoral Commission was established in the '94 election. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How would you characterize the way in which it works and how it ensures independence and autonomy in the elections?
In terms of the structure, the way the structure is, you would not say it's autonomous. obviously still being financed by government. The president is still the one to call the by-elections, set the dates of the elections, and not the electoral, the IEC. So in terms of that, you could argue that this thing is not autonomous. But in the way that they have run the elections, I can't point to anything that one can point to say that they have been gone out of their way to show favoritism towards government or towards the ruling party. It had to start somewhere. The IEC had to start as a government department because it had to get resources from government. And as we moved on, it tended to sort of move away from government, where now we had the board that oversees everything, and but the secretary is still appointed, I suppose, by the president. So these are the issues. I think we can start talking about improving it, and perhaps moving out, taking out those things that we think are making it look like it's not autonomous. And we are open to debate. Yeah.